These sort of tragedies aren't supposed to happen here, yet they did, and it leaves tons of questions in our mind.
In Oregon City in mourning tonight following that deadly shooting earlier today. What we now know about the suspect and what investigators are still looking into.
Plus another vigil tonight for a North Little Rock homicide victim. What the family is asking for and who else showed up to support that. And
on your side, looking into why 144 parole offenders have had their parole reinstated in recent weeks. Jason Peterson with a 7 on your side follow-up. The news starts now.
From the station that's on your side, this is Channel 7 News at 10.
Good evening. Another night, another vigil for a murder victim. 22-year-old Keon Woodson shot and killed in North Little Rock on Tuesday night.
We told you yesterday that police arrested and charged Danny Dednam. Now the family of Keon Woodson is asking the public to stop gun violence. Channel 7's Jordan Bonnke is back from the vigil tonight. Jordan, Woodson's family not the only one dealing with loss lately.
Right. The vigil was for Keon Woodson, but there were at least 2 other families there who lost their sons in a shooting death. And all of these violent shootings, the families there say these are just senseless.
Let's all come together. Yes, let's put the guns down.
Dozens in North Little Rock gathered for an event no family member ever wants to attend, a candlelit vigil. Thursday's was for 22-year-old Keon Woodson, planned by his brother and sister-in-law.
Now we have to get ready to bury a brother.
Woodson was shot at this Exxon gas station off Camp Robinson Road on Tuesday night. He later died at this North Little Rock apartment complex. A day later, Danny Dednam was arrested following a police chase involving multiple law enforcement agencies. He's now charged with capital murder.
We can have some happiness in our life instead of all this fighting feud. Put the guns down.
While Woodson's death may be the most recent murder, families who lost loved ones in prior shootings spoke out during Thursday's vigil. Joan Taylor Winston lost her son, Devonsier Tupac Shabazz Winston, in a similar North Little Rock shooting in August. He was just 21 years old.
I got up this morning, I told my husband, I'm going to get up and go to the cemetery and talk to Tupac and let him know that Keon is on his way.
We still think it's a dream. We can't bring him back.
Keon Woodson's family says his funeral will be at Mount Calvary Church in Marianna on Saturday at 2:30. Back to you.
All right, Jordan Bonnke reporting tonight. Danny Dednam appeared in court today. His bond is set at $250,000. His next court date set for October 18th.
Our thoughts and prayers are not enough. It's not enough. It does not capture the heartache and grief and anger that we should feel.
A visibly frustrated President Barack Obama addresses yet another mass shooting, this one happening at a small community college in Oregon. 10 people are confirmed dead after a gunman opened fire at the community college. The 26-year-old gunman, Chris Harper Mercer, is also dead. At this time, there is little information about the shooter and the motive. Investigators are examining social media postings made by the shooter. They say it appears he was talking with others online about the attack last night.
Your Metro First Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Ned Permy.
Nice cool night tonight. Temperatures are working their way into the 60s. We have mostly clear skies around the metro area. The temperatures can't be beat. You are looking at, for the most part, most of the readings are about in the lower 60s, even 58-degree reading at Jacksonville right now. Little Rock at 65, 62 degrees in North Little Rock and Conway, 63, 59 Benton and Bryant, 65 at Hot Springs National Park. And to our southwest in Jefferson County, Redfield, 64, Whitehall, 58, 64 at Pine Bluff. Mild start to the weekend, and it looks like a great one coming up. Hope you'll enjoy it. We are looking at temperatures tomorrow only in the mid-70s from Cabot and Conway, 77 at Hot Springs, and Pine Bluff at 77, 74 at Searcy, and 76 degrees at Benton and Bryant. Metro First forecast for tonight, low temperature around 50 degrees, mostly clear skies. Winds from the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And again, the winds will be slightly elevated out of the north at 12 to 18 miles an hour, which again will aggravate aggravate the fire danger across the state. So keep that in mind. We'll have the latest burn bans coming up, plus the latest on Joaquin. Better news with that storm, although it's still very powerful. We'll talk about whether it's going to affect the United States coming up.
Okay, Ned, thank you. The Department of Human Services is asking for an extension to complete a forensic exam for Aaron Lewis. Lewis, as you may remember, is accused of killing realtor Beverly Carter last year. New filings in the case indicate the prosecution intends to introduce records from TextMe into that case. That includes phone records from September 4th, 2014 through September 25th of 2014. As of now, a pretrial hearing is still scheduled for October 5th, next week. A 25-year-old Prescott man finally free this week after being jailed since mid-July despite never being charged with a crime. He was one of hundreds of men and women sitting in county jails because their parole was revoked. But those numbers are falling. 7 on your side's Jason Peterson with a follow-up tonight.
In recent weeks, 144 parole offenders have had their parole reinstated, part of an effort to ease the backlog of inmates waiting to get into a state prison.
In mid-September, 7 on your side was contacted by a Prescott mother who was trying to get her son out of jail. A woman accused James Cole of sexual assault. After spending nearly 60 days jailed, the prosecutor decided not to file charges.
The public defender, he called me and told me the charges had dropped. So I was under assumption that he could come on, but they said no.
John Feltz, chairman of the Arkansas Parole Board, says Cole remained jailed because his parole had been revoked and no one notified the parole board that he would not be facing charges.
The public defender or the family, someone that has an interest in the case, to contact us to make us aware of that situation.
County jails like the one in Prescott that held James Cole hold close to 2,000 men and women who would be in a state prison if there was room. Over 400 of those are technical violators. Feltz says those cases are being reviewed, and many of those low-level, nonviolent offenders will be given a chance to get out and be under supervision again.
We're into this a couple weeks now, and we're still working our way through it, but we do believe that it's working effectively.
Now, because Cole was suspected of a sexual crime, his parole revocation hearing was an automatic. His release, though, when no charges were filed, was not as automatic. Back to you.
Jason Peterson reporting tonight. Thank you. Federal regulators are assessing a $2.6 million civil penalty against ExxonMobil for a 2013 oil spill in Arkansas. The Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration today released its final report on the Pegasus pipeline leak. Roughly 3,000 barrels of oil spilled near Mayflower and Lake Conway. The agency's order said the company violated regulations governing the integrity of the line, along with its operation and maintenance. In August, a federal judge approved a $5 million agreement among the pipeline operator, the state of Arkansas, and the federal government.
A federal judge has canceled a trial considering a lawsuit challenging a nativity scene at the Baxter County Courthouse. The U.S. District Judge issuing an order Monday saying he will rule based on both sides' motions for summary judgment in the case. Mountain Home businesswoman Dessa Blackthorne and the American Humanist Association filed suit last year saying the county should not allow a nativity scene at the courthouse every December while denying requests for other displays on the property. Little Rock School Superintendent Baker Kuris making a big announcement today. 2 new schools, a middle school and a high school, are in the works, something he says is important for the future of the district. Channel 7's Matt Mershon is live outside Little Rock School District headquarters tonight with the details and also reaction from parents. Matt.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, this is actually something that the Little Rock School Board had voted to do just a week before they were disbanded by the state, and the State Board of Education took over the district. But today, State Education Commissioner Johnny Key saying in a statement that he supports this plan. However, tonight, mixed reaction from Little Rock parents.
We're going to get started. we're not waiting any longer. We're going to initiate those 2 projects.
The 2 projects announced Thursday by Little Rock School Superintendent Baker Curris are the plans to erect a new high school here off Mablevale Pike in southwest Little Rock, and the potential plans to turn this building, the old Leisure Arts headquarters, into a West Little Rock middle school. A conditional contract was signed on Wednesday by Curris to purchase the property for $11.5 million.
We've got 180 days to do due diligence to determine whether that facility is suitable for our needs.
The lack of a middle school in West Little Rock has been a major sticking point for parents like Pam Fortner, who initially sent her daughter to an LRSD middle school.
Magnet is a good school, but it's so far away now.
But other parents like Brooke Bobbitt say new schools wouldn't really matter.
We're just a little afraid of the reputation.
And that might be why Superintendent Curris is nervous about raising funds for these schools. In an internal memo released to Channel 7, Curris doesn't believe there's support for a successful millage campaign right now, but he doesn't believe the district can stand still any longer. Tonight, LRSD saying they have already actually purchased the property off of Mablevale Pike for that new Southwest Little Rock High School. Price tag on that, $1.3 million. We're live in downtown Little Rock. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks so much.
Still ahead tonight on Channel 7 News at 10.
We're prepared, and we need you to prepare and not panic.
All eyes on Hurricane Joaquin. The hurricane is currently a Category 4 and could intensify. The part of New Jersey in the most danger. Coming up.
Channel 7 News at 10. Brought to you by Reliance Bank and Smart Auto Group. Coach of the Year is brought to you by Simmons Bank. Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air. From the weather team with the most experience, this is Channel 7 Chief Meteorologist Ned Permy.
Well, we've got a beautiful night over downtown Little Rock on our Middleton Skycam. Clear skies right now, very comfortable, cool, 65 degrees. Winds east-northeast at 10 miles an hour right now. The dew point at 45. There's a 20-degree dew point spread between the temperature and the dew point. That means very dry air in place. Mild days, cool nights continue. Lots of sunshine. Dry conditions will continue to aggravate the fire danger that we've got going. And although we desperately need the rain, they've got plenty of it along the eastern seaboard and inland, including Knoxville, where a flash flood watch is in effect. If you're planning to leave, possibly tomorrow, to head that way to the Razorback game with Tennessee, look for a 60% chance of rain and some breezy conditions, and unseasonably cool with game time temperature at 6 p.m. about 60 degrees. So take a sweater and a jacket along with you. Moderate fire danger, wildfire danger, especially central and southern Arkansas all the way to the Louisiana border. And these are the burn bans that will remain in effect all the way through the weekend and beyond until we finally get some relief. Well, Becky Foster, who is a longtime contributor to our weather photos, sent this beautiful picture in from Pettigene State Park. And we'd always love your pictures. Send them to us at photo@katv.com. We've got clear skies going on. High pressure over the midsection of the country is going to keep us nice and dry over the next couple of days. Mild during the day, but cool at night, with most of the readings tonight falling off into the 50s and some mid-40s across northern sections of the state. All the shower activity along a frontal boundary in an area of low pressure that's continuing to keep it very wet along the eastern sections of the country and along the Atlantic seaboard, all the way back into eastern Tennessee, where those flash flood watches are in effect. And not much is going to change as we move into Saturday, so that's why some heavy rain is possible around the Razorback game. But one thing that is happening and helping as far as Hurricane Joaquin is concerned, this frontal boundary is continuing to push on toward the east, and that in turn looks like it's going to pick Joaquin up and keep it offshore. There's the center of circulation right over the Bahamas and has really been wreaking havoc through the Bahamas with 130-mile-an-hour winds, heavy rains, and very high seas, and storm surges throughout the islands. And of course, This storm is going to continue to track toward the north. It's a Category 4 right now, but it is going to weaken. And look how far now the model data takes it away from land, even kicks it away from the northeast. This is the latest model data, and it continues to weaken to a Category 3, Category 1 as it moves off of Nova Scotia. So our forecast highs today, we're in the 80s and upper 70s, but cooler temperatures across the Missouri border, only around 70 degrees there. And these are the readings. They've fallen off nicely into the mid-50s across the north, including 51 degrees at Fayetteville and 65 degrees at Arkadelphia, Little Rock, 67 in Monticello, and also at Texarkana. We don't have anything going on other than maybe some clouds as this low pressure area over the eastern half of the country maybe retrogrades a little bit, supplies us with some cloud cover, but it keeps all the rain away, and high pressure will keep us nice and dry through most of the weekend and beyond. And temperatures will only show a slow warming trend. 50 degrees tonight, clear skies and cool, and tomorrow's high 75 with sunny skies. Winds from the north at about 12 to 18 miles per hour. And dry weather and just a little increase in cloud cover as we move into the latter part of the weekend and early next week. Possibly our upper weather pattern will break down enough to allow low pressure to move some showers back into the forecast as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday. Looks like a good night for high school football tomorrow as well.
And a great weekend. Yes. Ned, thank you.
Thanks, Ned. Hurricane Joaquin continues to strengthen as it batters parts of the Bahamas.
What's being done to prepare for the possibly disastrous storm when we come back?
State officials are already declaring states of emergency today, anticipating the arrival of Hurricane Joaquin on U.S. shores in the next few days.
It is the first hurricane this year that has posed a real threat to the U.S. shoreline, and many on the East Coast are concerned that it will be a repeat of 2012's Superstorm Sandy. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie says the southern part of the state is currently in the most danger. He's asking residents to stock up and be ready. Other areas along the coast are preparing for the high winds and possible flooding, and the Obama administration is preparing for the possibly disastrous storm by making federal assistance readily available to those who may be affected.
FEMA has increased its staffing at our 24-hour National Watch Center in Washington, D.C. to provide additional reporting and monitoring of the situation.
Forecasts show the hurricane could be near North Carolina by Monday.
Well, up next, you'll meet our Landers Player of the Week, a true student athlete at Sheridan.
And what brings an NFL Hall of Famer to a packed house at the Clinton Library.
From the Arkansas Select Buick GMC Sports Desk, here's Steve Sullivan.
All right, Tennessee isn't a big passing team, but I'll be stunned if they don't test that Hogs secondary on Saturday. A year ago, the Hogs ranked 49th in pass efficiency defense. Through 4 games this season, they are ranked 117th.
It's just one of those things where we know we have to get better. We know we have athletes in the back end. We know we can do better in the back end. Like I just told him, we just have to go out and play ball. We can't overthink the little things. We have to do the little things first of all. We can't overthink it, and we just have to go out there and play ball. Play the type of ball that we are capable of playing. We'll be all right.
All right, a reminder, 6 o'clock kickoff in Knoxville. The game will be on ESPN2. And big news, a reminder, you can see Saturday's big, great American Conference game between Ouachita Baptist and Harding on our alternate channel, KATV 7-2, an 11 a.m. kickoff. It's a big few days for UAPB leading up to Saturday's game at War Memorial against Elkhorn State. Kyle has details on tonight's festivities.
Well, Sully, a great turnout for a great cause, raising money for UAPB football scholarships. And with it, we get a reunion of some NFL greats right here at the Clinton Library. Monty Coleman bringing back a couple of his former teammates, Anthony Jones, who now serves as his offensive coordinator at Pine Bluff, and NFL Hall of Famer Art Monk.
The relationship between the two from those Super Bowl days with the Redskins, it hadn't ceased. It's always, regardless of how long it's been, it's always a pleasure.
Our relationship is that good, so we can spend years apart, and when we come back together, it's like we've never missed a beat. So, we've been played together for a long time. Our wives, our kids played together, so we're like family.
When Monty Coleman joined us live at 6 o'clock, he teased a special guest. It was Keith Jackson joining these guys on the panel tonight. We'll have much more in the relationship between all these guys on Sunday night. For now, Sully, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Some good stuff. Our Landers High School Player of the Week is a top-notch student athlete, a player who loves his teammates and his hometown.
I'm Brockton Brown, running back at Sheridan High School, and here at Sheridan, we get buck wild.
And so far this season, the Sheridan senior has run wild, 852 yards in just 4 games.
He's turned a lot of bad calls into good plays this year. My job is to get him to the bus.
For Brockton, there's nothing better than carrying the ball 30 times on a Friday night.
You know, grinding in the middle and, you know, breaking tackles, making big runs, doing my part to help my team win. And I get a real sense of, pride when your team does good, you know, and you're a part of that.
And what makes this 185-pound back so special?
He's got the right genes, he's got the right heart, he's got the right work ethic and character, and he's a great high school football player.
Brockton says he's been fueled by an energized Yellow Jacket fan base.
Against Arkadelphia, I looked up in the stands at one point, you know, when I was tired, we were broken down, but, you know, we had to keep going because we looked up in the stands and nobody was sitting down, everyone was cheering, and that's something we haven't seen in a long time, and that's really been our motivation so far this season.
Brockton credits his dad and granddad with teaching him some important life lessons.
You know, what it means to work hard, what it means to do the right thing, you know, and not what it takes to be a man of good character and be well respected in your community or people around you.
Brockton Brown of Sheridan is this week's Landers Award finalist.
And you don't get any better than that. Good-looking guy, 4-point grade average, great athlete.
Sky's the limit.
He's got it all.
Great teammate.
Yes, very good. Sully, thank you.
We'll be right back. Dear John letters used to be a common way to break up a romance, but now more teens are choosing to ditch an ex with a text. A study by Pew Research Center shows about 30% of teens have used their phones to bid farewell to a former flame. Still, the survey found most teens agree an in-person goodbye is more acceptable, despite the awkwardness.
Yeah, more acceptable, but it's easier.
It
you know,
is.
you don't want to break up with somebody.
You don't have to
Not
do-
saying it's right.
That's right.
Not going to let my kids do it.
You aren't?
No way. Last check of your forecast.
Either way is rude.
You're right. No, there is no such thing as a good breakup, right?
No,
yeah.
there's not. But in person, that's the way to do it.
That's it.
Anyway, love advice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do it all.
let's take a look at the forecast. Dry weather and beautiful temperatures, 75 the next couple of days to lead into the weekend. Beautiful night for high school football, 77 Sunday, 79 Monday. Back into the 80s with some rain by the middle of next week, looks like.
I know why you were surprised me saying that I wasn't going to let my kids do that, Beth.
Why?
Because you're surprised I was going to let my kids date.
Exactly.
It's bound to happen someday.
Maybe
Yeah.
when they're 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
30 sounds good. That's it for us tonight on Channel 7 News at 10.
See you right back here tomorrow. Have a great night.